Mhm. Mhm. What is happening today,
Let's go.
traders? God bless each and every single
I
one of
wake
you.
up to
Hope you're
a
having a
little bit of
stand-up
drool on
freaking
my
day.
pillow, feel like
We're
it's
going to be
for me.
covering a little bit more than usual. AMC, GameStop, Jimmy Warrants, and IWM. So make sure to stay the full length of that freaking beefy video, and make sure to slap the like button and slap the subscribe button. That way we can help the algorithm push this channel. But without further ado, traders, let's jump straight in to the technical analysis on ticker symbol AMC, baby. So you saw a little bit of a tweezer top candlestick formation here on the 1 hour, and a little bit of a head and shoulders on the 1 hour as well. But there is a little bit of hope for the bulls here in attacking this trend line, right? There's two things. As you kind of take a step back here, there is the opportunity that this is a cup and handle here on the longer term time frame for the 1 hour chart, as well as this uptrend, right? You're literally sitting right on top of it as we speak right now at 202. You're literally sitting right on top of it as we speak at 202, and you have a pinch, a hair of hidden bullish divergence here on the 1 hour chart, in which you've made a lower low on the stock RSI, but a higher low on the overall price. That's bullish, traders. So you could see a nice pop off of that, hopefully getting you outside of this consolidation channel. Doing so would most likely take you to the third test of about 210 that you tested today, at one point up 8 freaking percent, 8 schmeckles on AMC. So that's what we want to see, right? We want to see this thing break above, hold this uptrend. Otherwise, you could be looking at, like we said, a potential head and shoulders going into earnings, in which I still remain bullish, right? But that technical profit target takes you right in to your test at 173. And then as you zoom out even further, traders, it's almost like a mind cluster of a head and shoulders inside of an inverted head and shoulders, with this shoulder, head, and if you revisited it, right shoulder. That profit target takes you upwards. If you take it from the neckline, upwards of 266, guys, and that would invalidate this even bigger head, shoulder, head, and right shoulder. We just really want to close above 222, guys. 222 is going to be absolutely massive if we see that test going into today, tomorrow, whenever it happens, right? Monday. It's going to be massive. So this thing is pretty primed. I would say it's still bullish on the short-term time frame. If you go to the 1 hour and kind of zoom in here, you can see a little bit better. You're right on top of this uptrend, so you need to see something happen, and happen fast. On the 30-minute time frame, you're on this RSI uptrend as well. So once you lose that and the 50 line, you could say, all right, short term, we may be a little bit more bearish than bullish, but that doesn't matter because I still have this very intact consolidation channel, just like here, right? Consolidation, pump, consolidation. It makes more sense for you to see that breakout off of this downwards consolidation after a higher high. So still very intact of this cup, or cup and handle formation. So that's what we're going to be watching for AMC. So a pretty perfect rejection off of this 212 top, and then your high here was 213. So that's what we're watching for the shorter time frames, baby. On the daily time frame for AMC, this is going to be very important to watch for. Is look at how close you are, trader, on the daily time frame to getting this beautiful Picasso freaking MACD cross on the daily. I would expect that to come with some volume here, right? Because you're still in this overall volume downtrend in the stock, and you have yet to break that since mid of June, right? Since this dump, you have not gotten back above a swing high of that volume. And I think if you see this daily MACD cross alongside some bullish volume for freaking earnings, guys, on the 20th, which I am absolutely jacked for, you should expect to see this gap fill currently sitting at 273. I know there's a big freaking question of why did they move it forward, right? Why is it moved forward to National Moon Day, guys? July 20th, my freaking birthday, National Moon Day, because it is also, I believe, the day that we landed on the moon, which I think is absolutely symbolic of something hilarious. But that is the big question, right? Why did they move it forward? What is going to be announced? Is anything going to happen? Or are we just going to have some bang up freaking earnings as the estimations have us right around -5 cents per share, at least on Robinhood? That is the estimation. So watching very closely for what happens next. Still very bullish, regardless of what happens next. But it is nice to see you very, very, very close to a MACD cross. Now on the 4-hour chart, you've gotten that cross, and every single time you've gotten in recent history, it has been a very positive thing for AMC, right? That one's 64%. This one is, what is that? 66%, right? So almost the last two times you've seen almost a 68% to 66% move. You got it right about here, and you're already up 8% from that MACD cross on the 4-hour chart. One of my favorite indicators to swing trade because it's very reliable. So hopefully we see that full stretch. If we got that same move, right, traders, 66% from the MACD cross here, that takes you right in to a potential higher high and right in to your 318 technical landmark on this stock. So I like that technical correlation on the stock. I think that's a beautiful thing. And as you zoom out here, you can see exactly why we have it as a horizontal resistance, guys. It was your last up thrust before rejecting into this abyss that we have called our lows, or our accumulation phase, right? This rejection right here at 318, 317 was the last stop before you got absolutely capitulated. So I do expect it to be pretty significant resistance here coming into it, and it would make sense now that you've made your technical higher low here, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, that you would go and make another higher high. Whether or not it happens there, who knows, man? I'm not a freaking genie, but I will do my best to cover on AMC the technical supports and resistances, right? So on the weekly time frame, you just had the 9-day SMA cross to the 50. Typically when this happens, right, we've covered it multiple times, you see pretty nice pops. So the last time you had it cross down was right here, right? And you saw a nasty rejection, right? That was right after 318. Actually, no, that was 566, 556. And seeing this as an overall bullish thing, guys, in the markets, you want to trade above both. And to see them cross is always a good sign. So I'm watching that on the weekly time frame to see further momentum to the upside. The setup is there. You just need to hold 2 freaking bucks, guys. I think that's what we got on a quick freaking update on technical symbol AMC, guys. Make sure to stay the full length of the video because GME and IWM are still very juicy. GameStop seen a little bit of a breakout and a test of this downtrend channel, and you've broken it and tested it before, but you need to see something come of this eBay acquisition. Ryan Cohen went on to, I don't think it was CNBC, but it was another news channel to talk about the acquisition. So he is absolutely certain, lobbying to the old heads, that this thing is going to freaking happen. And I'm excited if that is, right? Because that could bring the share price of GameStop higher. The only thing that is in doubt, right, is whether or not he has to raise more shares, which could apply selling pressure down to this local uptrend of $19, $20, and now it'd be about $20.50 would be your next channel there, or your next test. Something I'm watching for on the daily time frame for GameStop is this uptrend. And you kind of have a bloody candle today, even though it's not volatile whatsoever, right? Only about 0.5%. You've sliced beneath the daily RSI band, and you've now kind of rejected, right, as well. So I expect to test at around 22 bucks, whether it comes today or the next day. We'll have to wait and see, but I would be bullish off of that bounce here to potentially strike along, but we're gonna just have to wait and see, guys. Very, very accumulative structure here, as you kind of have a shoulder, head, right shoulder, or you could get a triple bottom if GameStop comes all the way down to this 2050 territory. So that's what we're watching on the short-term time frame for GameStop. On the weekly time frame, give it a little refresh. Woo, 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 woo. Weekly time frame, GameStop. Zooming out here. You kind of have a weird candle, right? You're in a very, very clear and evident volume downtrend as the stock is also in a downtrend. So we're waiting for one of those two things to break. Pretty boring stuff on GameStop, kind of a nothing burger. But once this does break, I expect a pretty nice move outside of this 2350 range, right? That's going to be the absolute key is you want to see volume and price follow. You're set up pretty nice for a potential RSI band cross here after getting a rejection off of it. But if you see that cross, guys, this thing can go absolutely ballistic, just like it did back here, right? This is a great example. You crossed, you made your low right here, about 2203, and then you rocketed 22.8% after breaking above it, retesting it, and freaking running all the way up. Right. And so that's what's going to be key here is can you do the same thing? Can you beat the RSI band here? And really just clear this range because this range has been a nuisance for GameStop ever since the announcement of the eBay acquisition. Furthermore, guys, let's talk about the GME warrants. GME warrants not looking so hot as they are kind of like an expiration in October that is approaching rapidly. Now you had a little bit of a bear flag here after the recent dump from $3 off of this 200-day EMA, all the way down to 194. Bear flagged it out. And then now you're dumping from that, seeing nice volume for the bears, even though that's not what we want to see, right? A volume ramp up on the bearish side, which makes me believe that you will see the full downtrend price target play out. 169 traders is your likely visiting target. Of course, it had to be 169, right? Only for my man, only in paradise. But there is a likely scenario. I won't say likely. I'll dial that back. There is a scenario in which these get extended, right? Or in which that GameStop sees some kind of fundamental news on the eBay acquisition and this thing absolutely rips ass as GameStop gets closer to that strike target in the $30 territory. Anything is possible, but I would just be careful because this thing has a timeline on it, right? So we just have to do our own due diligence and be very, very careful. You have not broken beneath your previous low here at 194. If you do, traders, expect this thing to take a little bit of a puke on the 1 hour chart. There is also the scenario in which you break back above this and then retest your previous resistance here. I think that's the most bearish scenario, right? Retesting the previous resistance here, right around this falling broadening wedge that has broken down, guys. So if you retest this right around 230 and reject, that is your worst case scenario for the GME warrants. Not financial advice, of course, guys, of course. Last thing, and then we'll wish you a wonderful freaking day, a thirsty Thursday, whatever you want to call it. IWM. Seeing a little bit of a breakout of this triangular formation, which bodes well for our risk on assets, right? AMC, GameStop, NEO, all will go up, in my opinion, if this thing continues to shoot into the $300 territory as you break your short-term resistance, guys, and now retest. That is a bullish sign for these small cap assets, although you could reconfigure this downtrend to be these two tops here, and then you're just rejecting it to go lower. But I believe, right, taking the most touches within this channel and seeing the technical correlation between the break of this line, right, the upthrust of this candle, I do believe that you are broken out here, and then you're retesting before making a higher freaking high that would come in right around 3.8 to 3.10 on this index. As always, guys, we remain freaking bullish. And maybe that's a bias, but I truly do believe the best is yet to come on these stocks, and I am absolutely jacked, excited, and we'll be live streaming for the AMC earnings, guys, on my freaking birthday. So make sure to tune in, guys, around 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until next time, guys, God bless each and every single one of you guys. Slap the subscribe button and punch the freaking like button to get this video out there. I love you all, and peace. Woo!